Shabnam, institutionally racist, what would you say?
I say it says what it is on the tin, which is exactly what Baroness Casey has said, that it's institutionally racist, misogynistic and homophobic. So, yes, that is exactly what it is. Look, yesterday was what I would call a watershed moment for Sir Mark Rowley. He could have actually acknowledged and accepted the label that has been now given back to the Met. It was never taken away. Let's not forget that, because there's not been any reviews since Macpherson like this. But he chose not to. And I think he's acknowledged, he's recognised that he has to implement the recommendations. He's accepted all of the findings, but he doesn't like that word. Well, there's lots of words in there that he won't like. That doesn't mean to say that he should be sitting there and picking and choosing what works for him and what doesn't. What he has to look at is how this has a huge impact on public trust and confidence. And I think that is where the Met will now struggle to reclaim that public trust and confidence.
And look, there have been lots of police leaders and former detective superintendents coming out yesterday and saying if the man at the top won't accept the language, then there's going to be a problem carrying forward those reforms. Do you accept that argument? Clearly the Home Secretary doesn't. She is happy that he accepts the substance of the report.
Look, the thing is here is however many serving and former officers come out and make comment. The issue is that there's a 363-page report which talks about the serious issues that sit within the Metropolitan Police. What I do absolutely believe is that we have got to support Sir Mark Rowley to implement these findings, but at the same time, we've got to continuously challenge him and hold him to account, because at some point, if he drops the ball and he suddenly decides that there's certain parts of that, those recommendations that he wants to fine tune to, to suit his own purpose or whatever, then that is when there will be some more problems and further mistrust by the public. This all hinges on people being able to report crime, victims being able to come forward, people trusting the police to feel safe to come and report crime to them, and for offenders to be brought to justice. And if they can't get that right, then, the suggestion that the police force should be broken up, I absolutely would support that.
Would you? And it'd be interesting just to get an intake from you, Shabnam, as when you were a serving officer. And we hear all sorts of examples. What did you come across that would convince you that it was an institutionally misogynist or racist organisation?
Look, I think the word institutional, racist, misogynistic, this is not about every police officer being racist. This is about systems and processes within an organisation that disadvantage people from protected characteristics. Fact is that black and minority officers are more likely to be subjected to discipline and to investigation and to performance matters. I was subjected to all of those. And there were occasions, of course I got it wrong, but there were occasions when I was deliberately targeted and the systems didn't protect me. That's what institutional racism and misogyny and homophobia is more about. So the bottom line is my experiences were challenging throughout my journey. What I read yesterday was stuff that you would have read that went on in the 80s or the late 70s. I could not comprehend that having your beard cut off, having bacon put into your shoes, being forced to eat cake to the point that you are sick just to initiate you into, a team of officers. I thought all of that had stopped, but I am very, very aware of the subtle microaggressions that go on within policing and the way that officers behave. You only need to look at what's gone on with Carrick and with Cousins. These are officers that behaved in a way within the organisation, and it's been shown within their WhatsApp groups that they were racist, they were sexist, they were misogynistic, they were homophobic. All these things are interlinked, and that is where policing has got to get it right.
Shabnam, what do you make of the kind of creeping in of this American idea of defunding the police? Quite different from what Baroness Casey was calling for in breaking up the Metropolitan Police, but this idea that we should just do away with the police, because in America they have a long history of corrupt police forces and dissatisfaction with police officers there. Do we have the same sort of problems here, and would defunding it solve it?
No, I think that it's really important to have the police services that we have. We have 43 forces across England and Wales. America work by state, different laws, different policies, different procedures. There is no consistency. I think what we do need is a lot more consistency within policing, and we need to look at some of these specialist units and whether actually policing needs to actually be responsible for them. So, for example, the parliamentary and diplomatic protection groups, which protect, the parliament and diplomats and so on, does it need police officers to actually do that job? Could that be taken over by the military? These are the things that need to be considered, because by handing that out to another organisation will increase the resources across policing, and it will refill the front line where policing is needed, so that we get better policing, better service and better quality of service given to victims.